You are listening to Best in Seattle Real Estate with host Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420. This podcast is for real estate agents. Tina interviews the best of the best agents in the greater Seattle market. Learn strategies and the mindset needed to be your best. If you're looking to take your real estate business to the next level, this show is for you.
Welcome to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents. My lineup is exclusive and reserved for the best of the best in the greater Seattle market based on closed transactions in the last 12 months. If you are a real estate agent looking to level up your game, you are in the right place. My guest today is here to share what she has learned over the years that has taken her to the top in the real estate field. Now in studio, Kari Scott of John L. Scott, Kari Scott Real Estate. Kari, welcome to the show again.
Thank you, Tina. Nice to be back.
Yeah, excited to have you. So Kari has closed 29 transactions in the last 12 months, and that earns her the title of industry leader. And she's here today to share her secrets to success, data provided and verified by MMI, Mobility Market Intelligence. And I also would like to give a great big shout out to my producer over at Hubbard Radio, Benny.
Hi there, Tina. Did you have a chance to see the total solar eclipse this last week?
You know, I did not. What about you?
No, but I'm making plans to head to Spain in 2026.
Oh, awesome.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
No, I'm probably not going to make it, but it's still worth a shot.
Kari, what about you? Did you see it?
Yeah, we watched it from the office. We went on the NASA site. We saw Mazatlan, and then we saw places through the US, and it was fun to watch.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Benny, yeah, thank you again. Without you, definitely the show would not exist. I appreciate everything that you do.
Sure, my pleasure.
So before we get started, I'd like to share a little bit about Kari. Kari Scott is a managing broker and year over year top 1% agent with John L. Scott Seattle Real Estate. She leads the Kari Scott real estate team. Kari is a certified luxury home marketing specialist with over 24 years experience serving buyers and sellers to achieve their dreams. She has a team of 3, and Kari has been coached consistently for the last 24 years through Brian Buffini, a company which is the largest real estate coaching company in the world. A certified Buffini and a company mentor and facilitator. Certified luxury home marketing specialist, Kari and her team commits to her clients' experience and that are unparalleled. So master negotiator with a ton of experience and always here to help. 95% of Kari's business is by repeat and referral, and she considers her clients her friends. She's recognized as one of the top agents in the Seattle metro area because of her Nordstrom quality of service. Kari is a 15-year, 5-star professional award winner with outstanding customer service that has voted her on by her peers and clients. So Kari, really excited to have you back in studio again and to share with other real estate agents how you're able to do the business that you're doing, especially in this challenging market. And this which really shows what the 1 percentile and the best of the best, no matter what market we're in, you're thriving. And doing 29 transactions in the last 12 months definitely is a superstar because it has been a rough market out there for everybody. So Kari, I know we mentioned in your introduction that 95% of your business comes from your existing database. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how you foster those relationships?
Sure. So it's happened one relationship at a time, one client at a time, trying to give them such a level of a service that when you say real estate, you think call Kari and team. Because we really, the 3 of us really do all that we can. Lynn and Laura are on my team, and we just really try to give the best service that we possibly can give so that we exceed expectations and they trust us, they feel connected to us. And then we have a really good after sales service program that we do that we pop by with little gifts throughout the year, seasonal things. We invite them to parties. I have a couple events a year. They come, I give them pies at Thanksgiving. So we send out monthly or bi-monthly mailers. We have a monthly email. So we really try to keep that connection going and growing with whatever's going on in their life too.
Yeah, and I love that tag, going and growing. And that's the key to success with your existing database, is you want to keep it going so it does continue to grow. And you have to stay top of mind. You need to have a follow up and follow through, a high touch program that you can stay connected with your clients. And it shows by doing that that you can run a successful business no matter what market that we're in. And, Kari also has a lot of really great swag. So wherever she goes, you might get her orange umbrella, so it's really great because people remember you when they have something that you've given them a part of your swag, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that umbrella, I'll get pictures, guess where I am, and it'll be in Italy using my umbrella in the middle of a rainstorm, or they're in Colorado and they're using it for a parasol. And it's kind of, where is Waldo? It's like, where's that orange umbrella? So it's
That
been
is
kind of fun. I've collected photos over the years that people send me, or when they break, they call me and then they want me to send them a new one, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. I'm like, of course.
Everybody wants an orange umbrella. I've got my orange umbrella from Kari Scott Real Estate. Love it. So, Kari, what is the single most important reason that you are seeing success in your business?
Well, I'm doggedly determined and I don't give up.
Yeah.
And I think showing up is a huge thing. I have a saying inside my office that I got a number of years back that said, she believed she could, so she did. So I think I have to have my checkup from the neck up. I have to be on target. I have to be thinking about what I'm really wanting, and then I need to go for it. Because if I really go for it, then failure is not going to be an option. And we have been through so many markets over the last 20 years that just when I thought we'd seen it all, then we'd go into a pandemic, and then we have all these interest rate hikes and all these things going on that you really can't make up. It just kind of happens, and then you just have to maneuver. But there's always a pivot involved, and just believing that you can do it and just being consistent with the things that you've always done. It's a compounding factor. It didn't happen overnight. It's taken, I'm a slow learner. I say it's taken me decades to keep it rolling and going. But it's just showing up, being there, and not letting all the external stuff take you down, because you just have to keep your eye on what you're really doing and be committed to. And the reality is, no matter what the market is, people are still going to move.
Yeah.
And you have a service that you're providing to help them. And if they see value in you, you will always be their first phone call.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's agents that have been in the industry for many years that aren't doing anywhere near the business that you're doing. And it's because they're not hyper focused and strategizing on a target, and the target being a selective group of people that you stay in contact with on a regular basis. And that's your database. I see so many agents that are constantly going out there and trying to get the new shiny penny, and then letting go and not staying in contact. And that's, mentioned in your bio, coaching with Brian Buffini. And that's really his big thing, is staying in contact with your database, and also letting them know that your business is based on referrals. And so always having that conversation and that reminder with your clients, if you are happy with the service that I've provided, the biggest compliment that you can give me is an introduction to somebody that is going to be purchasing or possibly looking at getting educated on buying a home or selling a home in the near future, right?
It truly is real estate by relationship.
Yeah.
One relationship at a time, and then it compounds. And then when you've been doing it a long time, like I have, exponentially, it just keeps having a life of its own. But it's all the compounding effort. So if you're really faithful to doing the little, you'll be given a lot down the road.
Yeah.
So it's just, how do you make a brick house one brick at a time? And the foundation has to be set. And it's not that you can slide, because let's face it, people move, and then your database changes.
Yes.
And all these favorite clients you have, the number one reason people are moving this year is because to be closer to family. And that's not always in Seattle, in the area, it's all across the country. So when people are moving, you lost a really good referral source right there that you hope that you'll still continue, and they'll call you from wherever they're at, say, oh, my friend, my neighbor called me, or whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to keep lead generating. So you keep having to grow your database, because we do move people out, which depletes our database.
Absolutely. And our lead generation can be still working within the community that we've built up, as they're continuing to refer people to you. Now you've got somebody new that's coming in. And I like how you say that your database gets a life of its own, but that database, it will not stay alive and continue to have a life on its own if you stop doing what you've always doing. And I also like how you mentioned, do a little and you get a lot. It's those little activities, the small decisions that you make every single day and how you want to work on your business, the activities, the small activities that are going to have that ripple and compound effect that Kari's talking about.
And it can be so hard to do, like I have to force myself to do it. Some days, because I get so distracted with other things that I'm doing. So, I mean, even if you just do 2 full solid hours of lead generation a week, meaning you call people, you send some follow-up notes, you see if someone has a birthday or an anniversary, you can see on Facebook or Instagram what they're doing and just reach out. I mean, it does have a compounding effect, but it's also tracking it and following it so that you can see how many people you've talked to, because it's going to be a law of averages too. And even if they can't talk to you when you call or text, because some people, like text better than they like calls. I'll follow up mostly with a personal note after a conversation, because that makes you stand out from the average email that we get inundated with. When you open your mail, you open the one that is in the nice envelope, and the card. And I've been sending out yellow ones this week that say hello with a big sunshine on them, because it's mail's not always fun to open, but it stands out rather than being in an email form.
Yeah, well, and the snail mail is such a huge benefit right now, because there's a very small percentage of people that are doing it. Back in the day, before we had all this technology and stuff, everybody was snail mailing. Well, majority aren't doing it now. So think about how many things that you get, personal things, a card or a cute postcard or something like that, or even leveling it up, a handwritten card. Just ask yourself, when was the last time you received that in the mail? And then that tells you what a benefit it can be for you if your clients are receiving that from you. So, yeah.
And I find I have to do this stuff in the morning, because by the afternoon, I'm too distracted with everything else we have going on.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You kind of set a time that you want to start making those, and even just getting them addressed is good, and then go back and write them the next day, because you've got a game plan for it.
Having those time block times, a regular time during your day that you have time block that you're doing your touch and your PowerPoint, because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. And if it's not on your calendar, you're telling yourself it's not important to your business success and it's not a priority. Kari is here telling you today that it is. This is why she's closed 29 transactions in the last 12 months. And if phone calls, or if you feel that a client's not wanting a phone call, great now is doing an audio through text. It's really great. They get to hear your voice, and it's just as if you're leaving a voicemail, but it's through text. So coming up next on Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, continued conversation with Kari Scott of John L. Scott, Kari Scott Real Estate.
So when submitting an offer on a home, the lender your buyer chooses to work with can make or break the offer based on their local reputation. Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, has a stellar relationship in the real estate community. She has been awarded Partner of the Year from Washington Realtors, Media of the Year from Seattle King County Realtors, and Member of the Year from Women's Council of Realtors. With over 25 years in the mortgage industry, Tina has worked hard to establish her place in the mortgage space. For more information on how Tina is helping her buyers stand out next to their competition, go to TinaMitchellTeam.com. That's TinaMitchellTeam.com.
Welcome back to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. I'm your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. Continued conversation with Kari Scott of John L. Scott, Kari Scott Real Estate. Are you a real estate agent looking for that one thing to take your business to new heights? Kari is here to motivate you to be your best. You will learn what she is doing and how you can implement her best practices into your real estate business. Today, Kari is sharing her strategies and the mindset needed to be the best in the industry. Kari is here to inspire other real estate agents to level up their real estate business. Kari, thank you again for being in virtual studio with me.
Thank you, Tina. Always fun to see you.
Yeah. So how has being in the real estate business helped you be a better person in your professional life or personal?
Well, I think it teaches you how to really listen to people, because it's, 2 ears, 1 mouth, so it's like, it's really, I mean, it puts you in their position where you think, if I was them, what would I want to know? And I treat everyone like if I would make that decision, I'm not gonna have you make that decision.
Yeah.
Or if I would agree to it, I'm gonna tell you what I feel about it, and then you make your own decision from that. But I just feel this huge sense of responsibility, like if I wouldn't do it, I'm not gonna have you do it. So I think just being the trusted advisor is a huge thing right now, because people have so much to deal with everything that we've kind of been through the last couple of years, that some things they just want to trust you with. And that's why they would never do it themselves. I mean, when I started real estate in 1999, our average contract was 7 pages. Now our average contract's about 28. And I've taken so many classes and so much continuing education. I'm coached every other week by my coach, Kelly, who has helped me through the thick and thin of all the markets that we've been in. At least she's been my coach for the last 14 years, and I've had a few before that. But I just think that you just gotta if you have, my mom always said when I started, who just retired January 1st after 48 years in real estate, because
And she's 80, how old is your mom?
She's 86.
86, and she just retired. That's
She
crazy.
announced at Christmas that January 1st would be her last day. And I'm like,
Oh.
are you sure? Because I've been trying to get you to retire for like 16 years, you know? Yeah. And then she retired, and then she got 2 referrals and then gave them to me because she was done in January. Yeah. Yeah. So I just think people, you know, they want you to be 2 things: confident, and they want you to be competent. And in this market, those without experience have a disadvantage because there's so much to know. I mean, I have 25 years of compounding real estate experience and have gone through many markets that no one even knew how to maneuver. So I just think, okay, bring it on. We'll figure it out somehow. Somehow we're going to make this all work. So
Yeah.
I think it's the agent's ability to negotiate and to, on the buyer's or seller's behalf, and to do the best they can as if it was their own transaction that they were buying or selling. And that's how the team and I, we approach everything that way.
And that's really great. A good basic gauge of just asking yourself the question, all decisions you're making for your clients, would this be something that you'd be doing for yourself? Would this be the decision? And that's a great way to look at how making those decisions in your business. And I love how you've made mention to your coach, because Kari is in the top 1%. She's an industry leader based on the number of transactions that she's closing, and she has somebody that she's accountable to. So if you're listening to the show and you're in real estate and you're not doing the business that you want to do, you need to have a coach. You need to have a mentor and somebody that is at a high level that you can get advice from, and also stay on track with what you want to do with your business. And so the best of the best, they have coaches. So you should too. All right, Kari, let's go ahead and shift into life-work balance, because I know that you work really crazy hours. So how do you kind of manage that and have not only a great book of business and make a lot of income for professionally, but have a great life at the same time, so you're enjoying what you're making?
Well, I'm still a student of that, and some days I do it better than others.
Yeah.
But overall, I have a team to back me up. I have Lynn, who's been with me for 21 years as my licensed assistant, and she kind of runs the mothership, transaction coordinator. And then I have Laurel, who is also a licensed agent that supports and works with buyers, and whatever I need, she's there. And she's starting to lead generate for her own business too. So we call ourselves a 3-legged stool. And we really have hard when it's hard when it's only 2 of us. So it's just having some backup, because this is a job you cannot do everything yourself. And if you can, you're probably not sleeping, because we wear 3 hats as a realtor. We are our own CEO, we're our own CFO, and we're our own COO. So when you figure out, you know, that page that says 165 things we do as realtors, it's really true. Plus we lead generate, we do our books, we have to, you know, figure out our taxes, we market, we run around a lot. So having 3 people has been really beneficial. And I can't imagine doing it out. It's too big of a job. So I think the one thing to do is plan vacations. Because, you know, if you plan a vacation, your phone's going to start ringing. And I plan a vacation for at least a month at a time every year. And I'm going to do it till I can't anymore, probably, you know, just because it's so enjoyable. But you have to plan your vacations, and then you need to have good backup, whether it's an agent in your office that works like you, that you can job share a bit when you're on vacation. It's just super important to have your time off, because it can be a burnout job. People are only happy for you to go on vacation and see your kids and have your holidays. when they're not working with you. But when they're working with you, they want you to be there. So you want to make sure you have the infrastructure behind you or the person that supports you so that you can actually have a life too. And you have to claim your time and set your boundaries and realize that your clients don't work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, every weekend and holiday. And always, on your husband's anniversary, someone wants to see a big house and you're like, oh, it's the anniversary. We're not doing that, So it's really claiming your space, telling them how you work and knowing that you have a plan that when you're not available, you can be covered.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice, Kari. And for sure, embracing your strengths and hiring out your weaknesses. There's no way you can have a quality of life and do a great book of business. I was 3 months in the industry in the mortgage business, and I hired my first assistant, even though I didn't know where my next paycheck was going to come from.
Yeah,
I knew I was not going to survive, and I surely was not going to thrive if I was doing this all on my own. So great advice. Kari, we've got just a couple minutes, but I want to ask you self-doubt in your business. How do you deal with that?
Oh, my coach helps me out a lot.
Yeah.
I talk to other realtors. I have two groups that I work with, that since the pandemic started, 4 other friends that are around different states in the country. We meet every Wednesday from 9 to 10 and we have for 4 years. And then I have another group that's all over the country from Georgia to Colorado to California, Florida, and me, and here in Washington. And we meet every other week. On Fridays from 9:30 to 10:30. So having other industry leaders that are good at what they do, that are running, their business similarly. And I met them all, honestly, all through Buffini because the networking there is amazing.
Yeah.
Those are my girls. And we help empower through. I listen to podcasts. I make sure I don't give up my exercise in the evening for real estate appointments so I can keep my sanity. And I do things like you do, Tina. I took your class on one timing, which I highly recommend if you're still doing that, because the one timing thing, why do things 2 times? Be efficient, be strategic, and have a plan. Pretty much that sums it up.
Yeah, thank you, Kari. Yeah, thank you so much again for being on my show. It's always an honor to have a conversation with you, and a blessing for the agents that are listening to the show, listening how you're doing it, continuing to be at the top of your game. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
And to watch my video recording with Kari or other industry leaders in the real estate space, go to bestinseattlerealestate.com, or you can catch my show on the YouTube channel and, of course, all the podcast channels. Tina Mitchell, your host and your local mortgage expert. Until next time.
Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, is a licensed loan originator with Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited. The views expressed by the speakers on the preceding program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited.